Alright, everybody. Welcome to another exciting edition of the 6 fan art character doodle watch it thingy. If you remember last time, we did Rebecca Cunningham from Tailspin, as you can see right here. And now it's time to go on to the third one. And I realized something, last time when I was putting up the last video. At the beginning of each of these videos up to this point, I've, kind of like tried to tease what the next character is and like create all this like suspense and stuff, and then I realized you already know who it's gonna be because you've seen this thumbnail. Like right now, you know that we're going to be drawing Bonkers D Bobcat. So, it's kind of pointless for me to, like, try to build that up because I'm an idiot. So, yeah, I'm not going to be doing that again. But what I might do is I might try and, at the end, kind of hint at or try to tease at whatever the next thing is going to be there. And hopefully that'll work out a little bit better, because I won't have a huge thumbnail sitting there telling you exactly what it's gonna be, and me like, ooh, what's it gonna be like you don't already know. So, we're gonna start over here and zoom in a little bit. Open up the folder here. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to call it Bonkers, because I ain't fooling nobody with this. Whoops. And then I will. Why won't you? Oh. Alright. So we're going to take the. Now, I've got him here with his little badge. And his badge. And he's holding it upside down because, of course, he is. But I don't necessarily like the way he's holding this badge or the angle that he's holding it at. So I think I'm going to be changing that part. But we're going to start with just doing, his main head and face and stuff, and then we'll play around with the badge to get it, get it at an angle that works better. All right. So for starters, we're going to go to ink. And we're gonna zoom in, maybe? I tried to. There we go. I hope I don't start having lag problems again. Or I had to restart the computer to try and get better results. So I've got him with his glasses there, trying to be all, like the cool cops. Which, of course, is funny because it's Bonkers. Bonkers was a fun show. Very, very, very underrated. I'm glad I got this suggestion, because this is a fun suggestion. And on the subject of Disney stuff, because Bonkers was Disney as well, because we did, whoa, what the heck just happened? Oh. We did Rebecca here. She's upside down. It's disorienting. Anyway, but we did her. We were talking about other Disney stuff. Like, I don't know if Bonkers is on Disney Plus or not either, but again, it's worth your time if you can find it. The Lucky Piquel episodes are the better ones. The Miranda Wright ones are okay, but the dynamic between her and Bonkers is not quite as funny as the dynamic between Piquel and Bonkers. It's really interesting the way that they did that show, because they started off with Miranda Wright as the character that, or as the human cop that he was paired with, when they were animating it. Like that, she was the first one, and then they did the Piquel episodes after that, and they turned out much better. So they decided to lead with the Piquel episodes when they actually ran it on TV, and then they bridged over to the Miranda episodes because they made a special episode in between to explain why Lucky moved on and why Miranda was there. And it was generally just they just weren't as good. And they very clearly were also done sooner because Bonkers didn't look fully, his design hadn't been fully finalized yet, so he looked a little different, and the whole thing was just kind of a little rougher, and like you could tell that those were the earlier ones. Of course, as a kid you couldn't tell, you had no clue, but if you're an animation nerd like me, then yeah, you can tell the difference. I like the Miranda Wright ones, and Miranda Wright's got has a fan base in her own right. See what I did? I hate myself. Anyway, ugh, that was so bad. I hurt myself with that. That's terrible. Anyhow, but you know, she kind of developed her own fan base, which is good. That's nice. But Piquel was obviously the more popular one. Now, if you've never seen Bonkers, you're like, what are you talking about? So Bonkers was basically Roger Rabbit without Roger Rabbit. It's the same kind of idea. You have the Toon and the detective teamed up together. Lucky Piquel was the Eddie Valiant analog, and Bonkers was the Roger Rabbit analog. But it was a little different. They did change some things up. I think I don't remember. I remember hearing that the idea was they originally wanted to do a Roger Rabbit show, but they couldn't for whatever reasons, because there were some rights issues there. Since the movie, since they got so many different cartoon characters, both Disney and Warner Brothers, for the movie, like there were some rights issues as far as like being able to use Roger Rabbit, and so basically what they wound up doing instead is they came up with something very similar but just different. It's not the exact same thing, it's just similar. So, and that's how we got Bonkers. Save. Sometimes it gets a little bit laggy or janky, and I figure that has something to do with memory being taken up too much by other things, and I think, if I go ahead and save it, then it'll quit trying to save, like the temporary version of the file or whatever it is it does, and I might be able to actually get better lines with less lag. This is not working for me. Almost, not quite though. That's still not quite what I want. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna try starting with the nose, and then we'll go from there. So let's flip it. No, not that way. The other way. Come on. I clicked. There you go. So there are shortcuts, hotkeys. That's the word that you can use for these. To rotate it or flip things, but I can't figure out how to make the hotkeys work properly, because I can do the hotkey in one direction to hang on, gonna say I could. Maybe I can't. Well, okay then. Wait a second. No. Well, the hotkeys aren't even working at all now. Used to be I could hotkey it to turn one direction, but not the other direction. Is it this? No, that's in. That zooms in and out. Ah, there we go. So yeah, the minus key spins it this way. So you'd think the plus key would spin it the other way, but it doesn't. And I checked the things, and it's supposed to, but it just doesn't. And I don't know why it doesn't. It just doesn't. So I can only. It's the 0 key, is it? No, it's not the 0 key. So anyway, I can spin it one way, not the other. I don't know. Whoops. That. Anyway. So I don't know. There's some way to do it, but I can't figure it out. At least I can't figure it out with this. I think I'm getting a weird deja vu. I think I may have discussed this before. But anyway. So, I've had a few little issues with that, but, what are you gonna do? Nope. And we're gonna just take this and scoot it over a little bit that way, and put it this way. If I can't get the exact curve I want, I will force it. I don't care. Yeah, maybe. Not that like it, not that want it. Oh no. No. I say thee nay. There we go. Nope. Oh man, that was bad. Save it again. Sometimes it just doesn't like doing things and recording at the same time. Which is annoying. Can I? There we go. Ooh, that was very close, but not quite. Nope. Yeah. Isn't this riveting television, kids? Yeah, that was good words. Yeah, I can communicate well. I talk good. Okay. Wait a second. Is this thing not... What's wrong with my opacity? Okay, somewhere along the line I messed up my opacity. I want full opacity. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, that's what it did when I accidentally hit the other key and I did the thing. Okay. Now I see. Now I see. Because you'll notice... You'll notice that, like, there's no opacity problems with these lines that I've already done. Huh. I did not know it would do that. Well, I found a hotkey for something I didn't want. That's maddeningly unhelpful. Let's try this again. No. Come on. What is this? What is... Come on. This is not that hard. So I tell you what, sometimes circles or ovals or things like that are the hardest things to get right. Sometimes it just does not cooperate. Okay, come on. Good enough? Good enough. It's another secret. Sometimes you just gotta know when it's good enough and say, yeah, okay, that'll do. That's not good, though. No. I am not asking you to do something that is this difficult. Why are you making it this hard? You! I hate this nose. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much right now. I don't know why I'm having this much difficulty with it, but I am. Okay. Okay. I think I'm getting somewhere now. I think I'm getting somewhere now. Now we're headed somewhere. Okay. No. Yes. Maybe. Flarp. Come on. Come on. There we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's way too close. I don't want to be zoomed in that far. Just far enough to kind of get in there and fix some of the places where the lines don't quite meet up. Yeah, that's good enough. That'll do. Life is just so difficult. Okay. Oh, boy. Alright, let's add this in. I'm not talking about much interesting right now. I really should. I was talking about Bonkers. Perhaps I should do that again. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, talking about how he was sort of a Roger Rabbit XP. But I think I pretty much just said all there was to say about that. I always found Bonkers to be kind of a inspirational character. Which, okay, I know that sounds weird to say, just right off the bat, but hear me out here. So the cartoon starts. Alright, so Who Framed Roger Rabbit was about Roger Rabbit being, well, framed, right? He'd been framed for the murder of Marvin Acme. And, of course he didn't do it, and they had to get to the bottom of it, and Acme's will was a whole thing, and then, Christopher Lloyd wound up being an evil cartoon character, which, to this day still amuses me, and creeps me out at the same time. Like, what they did with the way they animated his eyes when they had him, show his true colors. Oof. That was some nightmarish stuff. But anyway, okay, come on. Get with the program. It's gonna take forever if you keep making me have to save every 5 lines. Okay. I mean, I won't lose my work, so at least there's that, but anyway, but in Bonkers, the whole setup was that Bonkers here, it basically got fired from his cartoon. Like, the ratings were bad or whatever. And so Maroon Cartoons, which is the cartoon studio that he supposedly worked for, the fictional cartoon studio. Is that Roger Rabbit that Maroon Cartoon was on? And did he have a different oh, wow, that's gonna, now I'm getting my wires crossed, I don't remember. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is that he got fired from his own cartoon. His cartoon got canned. So he was basically out on the streets. He was washed up and done. And then I forget exactly how, but he accidentally saved Donald Duck from a mugger. And so as a political publicity stunt to make to get good press for the Los Angeles Police Department, they started a Toon division, and they hired him onto that, and they stuck him with Lucky Piquel, who was kind of a washed-up cop, too. So he was washed up in his own sort of way. And again, basically, the whole thing was just a publicity stunt to make the LA Police Department look good. And so both Lucky and Bonkers were stuck together, and they didn't really much care what became of them or how that worked, because again, it was all just a publicity stunt. But Bonkers, you know, being the eternal optimist that he was, you know, was all about, you know, being able to serve and protect and, you know, do his duty to law and order and blah, 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 blah. And of course, you know, Lucky Piquel was just, like, tired of everything by this point. You know, he was... No, cut with layer. No, I don't know what you even want. What did I hit? Why are you being this way tonight? Ugh. Anyhow, you know, but he's your typical jaded, cynical cop type. And he was not happy with being stuck with a cartoon character, especially one that was all, you know, idealistic and all of this other stuff. And then, of course, you know, they got up to their hijinks, as typically occurs in these things, and there we go. That's good. I like that. I'm gonna save it, even though I've saved it a dozen times already. You can never save it too much. Uh-oh. The straw doesn't reach into the surface of my water anymore. I'm gonna start making unpleasant sucking sounds. That's lovely. Anyway, wow, his Bonkers' optimism in the face of it all just kind of... It was always kind of inspiring. That's the inspiring part. And it, like, you know, it was inspiring enough to Lucky that he kind of started to enjoy being a police officer again. Not that he'd ever admit it, mind you. But Bonkers kind of came along and injected him with a new kind of passion for his job. So anyway, it was very interesting. You had, as the Toon division, they had to deal with a lot of Toon-related crimes. So a lot of it was hunting down cartoon bad guys and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think it'd be really interesting. You know, they've rebooted DuckTales, and that seems to have worked out well for them. I still have my issues with the art style, but overall, like, conceptually and everything, it seems pretty good. And you think about how, like, the stereotypical police procedural has changed over the years, and I just think of all of the new things that they could parody and lampoon with something like this. So it'd be really interesting to see this one rebooted or brought back. And since this one is such an obscure one, you're not gonna get... They could get away with more, I guess. I don't want to say that, because I don't like it when they try to get away with too much and they change things too much, what have you. But whoa, what the heck was that? That was supposed to be a curve, but it wasn't. Oh, don't start lagging on me again. I don't know why you like this. Okay, that was better. Yeah, I just needed to save it. The memory was full. But if I can just line it up with the tip of his finger there, that'd be fantastic. Come on, I'm not asking you to do something that difficult. You know what? Fine. I'll play your silly little game. No. I don't know. Whoa, way too far. Why with the lag? This is annoying. Okay. Better? No. No. Almost. That'll do. But anyway, bleh. Where was I? What was I saying before I started having issues? Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out because it's being dumb. I already restarted this thing once, trying to get it to work properly. I don't know what your problem is. I don't like. I didn't have any problem with Rebecca. I didn't have any problem when I did Sonic. I actually did have problems the first time around when I was trying to do Sonic, but again, I didn't get very far with that, so... What the heck is happening? Come on. Come on, why are you... There we go. I'm just trying to draw too much at once. Maybe I have to do it in smaller segments. Anyhow, but yeah, with all of the police procedurals and stuff on nowadays that could be parodied and mocked and made fun of. Because Bonkers, back in the day, they made fun of Dragnet, which of course, that's really old, but still, it's been, that's one of those things that's been around for so long that it's almost obligatory to poke fun at. Because I think it may have been, I'm not sure, but I think it may have been the very first show like that was like the police procedural thing. And it was supposedly based on real cases. They had the little disclaimer, you know, the story you're about to see are, you know, real. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. Yada yada yada. Dun 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 dun. You know. So I think I'm not sure, but I want to say I think it may have been the first one. The first show of this type, of this kind, so the first cop show, police procedural type thing, so I have to poke fun at that, I have to pay homage to that in some regards, but they also made fun of, Columbo, as well as, Sherlock Holmes, again, another one that's really old, but, like, how do you not, right? You kind of have to. Like, Dragnet and Sherlock Holmes, like, those are classics. You're not going to get away with a cartoon police procedural without some kind of references to those things. It's just not going to happen. But I think it'd be really interesting to see what they could do with it nowadays, especially since crime dramas and things like that have become such a big deal, because I mean it's not even, you know, it's a completely different viewing landscape than it was back in the days of Columbo or Dragnet, for sure. You know, but like, what could they lampoon now? There's just so much material. And then, of course, all of the true crimes things have become really big amongst certain subsets of the population as well. Single women, mostly. Or at least that's what I've been able to glean. I don't understand that necessarily, but okay. Whatever. But, you know, to be able to make fun of things like that, it's just, there's so much potential. And I'd really like to see something like that attempted. I think there's a lot of things that could be done with that. Why is it that my curves get easier to draw when I don't really care how perfect they are? Because it doesn't really matter. When I'm up in like the face area, it's just, it fights me tooth and nail. And then here it's like almost exactly what I want without any issue at all. I say that, and then I'd redraw that same curve 3 times. But it wasn't giving me fits, it was just a matter of getting it right. Like I wasn't getting the herky-jerkies there. I don't know why it's gotta be that way. But I guess that's just how it is. Okay, well, here. How do I want to do his arm here? Stop. What is, no, I don't want, go away. Thinking, that's good. That'll do. Alrighty then. Okay, let's see here. And turn this way a little bit. That's a little too far that way. Let's go back. There we go. Try to get it a little bit more level. Okay, come on. I'm not asking you to do anything that hard. Come on, get with it. Get with the program, man. There we go. Like a parody CSI. Which of course was huge for a very long time. And it's not like it's, you know, completely out of the public mind. Public, what's the word? Ugh! Words is hard. People still remember it, I guess, is what I should say. Like Dragnet, it was a unique, one of its kind type thing. So, yeah, one of the first police shows, crime shows, what have you, where they were more concerned with the evidence than the players, as it were, the suspects, the people involved. Which in a way is a little bit more like reality, because in reality they're far more concerned with the evidence and the facts than they are with, like, necessarily people or even their behavior or how suspicious they are or are not or what have you. Take that out. And actually, this one too. Let's bring that back for a second. Come back. There we go. Ugh, look at that. This is just, oof. I don't know why this is so difficult for it. Okay. I mean, I already pared it down. As you can see, maybe down here, it's kind of hard to see because it's really tiny thumbnail. But I've already merged Sonic and Rebecca into the background layer. So it's all just one layer now. To try and cut down on the number of layers I have, in vain hope that it would, okay. But in the vain hope, so it might seem. There we go. Wait, hang on. Whole thing needs to, yeah, okay, good. In the vain hope that just say words. In the vain hope that it will cooperate. Oh, and they would make it lag less. That it would fix some of the problems. No, that's not what I hit. Do what I want you to do, not what you want you to do. Stupid computer. computer. Okay. You're making this harder than it has to be. Come on. Nope. Try again. There we go. That's it. CSI, right. But like I said, I think that's was a little more blah. A lot of police shows up to that point were more concerned with like the suspects and the people involved and everything, whereas CSI was more concerned with the how and the evidence and such, which again, like I said, I think is a little bit more accurate to reality, where they're concerned with the evidence is more so than all these other things. I mean, somebody could be suspicious, but that does not mean that they're the ones who are responsible. That's not going to work. Okay. No, this is not how I want to do this. Edit. No. Edit. Thank you. Transform. Free transform. And take this and just like squeeze it over here. I don't know if that's better or not. I think that's got problems. So do I. Okay. That's good enough for now. Go here, erase some things. This is not working the way I wanted it to. And then, no. Maybe. Why'd you gotta be this way? I swear, I'm having to fight this one so much more than I should have to. You know, this was supposed to just be a fun little thing to do, you know, on the side, in between projects and things, and I don't know, this is just turning into a chore. Why is this being a chore? Why you got to be this way? Okay, come on. Do that. No. Don't dip in. There we go. It's good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough. Remember, it's good enough. Don't get bogged down in the weeds, because once you zoom out, it... no, how did you zoom out? All those little imperfections in the line work are not gonna be that visible. So chill out, bucko. Alright, let's see here. Touch there. Do something like... whoa, what was that? Yeah. I'm not even asking you to do anything hard. I'm just asking... there you go. Yeesh. Today is not my day for drawing, I tell you what. Yep, okay. Here's the story. Here's a... no, come on. Can I... why is life being so difficult? So some days, try as you might, when you're drawing, doing art, what have you, some days things just don't want to work out. Whether it's your computer program not wanting to cooperate with you, or whether you just can't seem to draw a straight line that day, or whatever. We all have days like that. Today is one of those days for me, apparently. Okay, come on. You know, I was going on and on and on a couple of videos back about how just wonderful this drawing program is. How nice and smooth the line work is, etc., etc. And then it's got a go and do this to me. The reason, no, part of the reason it's doing this is because I am recording at the same time. And of course, it just has to mess up when I'm actually recording it. No, what really it is that, you know, the computer has its resources being taken up elsewhere, so it's kind of fighting for resources. Didn't used to be that bad, but this is still better than my old computer. My old computer and Photoshop. With Photoshop, oh my gosh, this is still tons better than Photoshop. Bad on this is still better than Photoshop when it came to trying to record and draw at the same time on that. That was, woof, that was a nightmare. Photoshop was not very well optimized in the memory department. That's for dang sure. This program is definitely far more optimized in the memory department. But that still doesn't help the fact that I'm still trying to ask more of it than it wants to be able to do. So, story of my life. Every single computer I've ever owned, no matter how old or new it was, I always pushed to whatever limit it had and tried to get it to do things that it didn't want to do, because apparently that's what I do. That is how I roll. Like a square wheel. Okie doke. That's good. Control minus. There we go. We're getting somewhere now. Now we're getting somewhere. Okie doke. Gotta get a drink of water while I wait. Alrighty then. Let's see. Shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Alright, gotta get the top of his head. I'm gonna do that separately and then merge it down because there's gonna be some overlap here, and I'm gonna have to play with the line work a little bit. Alright, that was terrible. Come on. My point was that some days you just have a bad art day, and you just have to learn to fight through it and keep drawing anyway. Some days it's like I'm supposed to know how to draw, but I don't seem to know how to draw today, and you just have to keep on going. You just have to muddle through. Get it out of your system. Okay, come on. Okay, there we go. No, actually, that's not good. Is it supposed to go up and up? Okay, come on. Please. That's not so bad. I can work with that. No, actually, no, I can't because it curved too much below. Come on. Ugh. My curves today. It's the curves. The curves don't want to cooperate today. It's annoying. So annoying. There we go. There we go. That was it. Perfect. Oh, hardly perfect, but, you know, it'll do. At this point, it's good enough. Sometimes, good enough is good enough. This is one of those times. Okay, go like that. Okay, come on. This one's really... this curve is really eating me up. Save it. Maybe a memory dump will help me. Please? Also might help if I get a better angle at it. There we go. Maybe? Well, that part actually wasn't so bad. Oh. No, don't back that far. What the heck, man? I didn't ask you for that. I hit the key once. What's your problem? Here we go. Come on. No, that's good enough. No, doesn't have enough of a curve. Let's leave it for... No. There we go. That's it. That'll do. Okay, come on. I'm not asking you to do things that are that difficult. Yeah, here we are. This is a fight. I feel... Okay, I want to just take a moment here and apologize to anybody that's suffering through this. I thought this was going to be a fun video. I thought this was going to be a, enjoyable video where we could talk about crime shows and we could talk about, police and Roger Rabbit and stuff like that, but no. No. Instead, this is gonna be the watch me fight my computer and try a dozen times to get one line down the way I want it. It's exactly, that's exactly what I wanted today. This is just, it's perfect. It's such perfect, horrible, terrible awfulness. It's just, It's very befitting. It is very befitting of the year that has become 2020. The year that all things must be terrible, awful, no good, and very bad. Or so it would seem. But hey, you know what? At least there's something to be said for consistency, am I right? Sometimes you just have to laugh because it's the only way to keep from crying your eyes out. Alright. That works. For me, anyway. Makes me happy. And that's enough. Sometimes that just a little happiness can be enough. It's too pointy, though. Why is it too pointy? But it's too pointy. It's not good enough. Ugh, I hate myself sometimes. Why do I gotta be such a stickler? I mean, that was okay. That was okay. That could have just, stood. But no. Because he's a cartoon cop. He's got this big, fat, poofy hat. It can't be that pointy. It just can't. Even though a real police hat might actually be that pointy, he's a cartoon cop. He can't. It's cartoony. He can't. I can't. I just can't. I can't. I cannot. Alright, fine. That's good enough for me. Why? Okay. We got this. It's gonna be alright. I haven't even gotten to the tough part yet. Where I have to mess with the badge and getting that lined up the way I want it. Oh, I don't want to think about that. The way this one's going, I don't even want to think about that. Okay. Give me another layer. So many layers. It's like an ogre. What was that? That was more Sean Connery than Mike Myers. That's like an ogre. That has layers. Do. Thank you for that. I'll tell you right now, folks. I am not looking forward to these ears. Because I need big, swooping curves for these ears. And you've seen how painful swooping curves have been tonight. Okay. Gonna do it anyway. It's gonna be a pain in the tuchus, but I don't care. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Oh man, that was... Oh, well, no, not almost, but no. But you know what? It doesn't have to follow the sketch perfectly. In fact, that part I actually kind of like it better where I put it. Stupid you. These, I gotta say, these ears are kind of interesting. Very reminiscent of, the Warner Brothers, in the Animaniacs. But the weird thing about Bonkers is that he's supposed to be a Bobcat. And, I never saw a cat of any kind, Bob or otherwise, that had these kind of ears. I don't know. I mean, if anything, these are more dog ears than cat ears. But, hey, you know, whatever. Again, they're laying heavy into the cartoon thing for this, so I am not gonna complain too much. Oh my gosh, there's a lag. Oh no, it was actually okay. No, there we go. Goodness, why is it this way? Man, it's like going through molasses. What's the deal here? Oh, golly. I haven't changed any settings either, so like there's no reason that you should be giving me this much hassle right now. It's just there's no reason for it. And yet here we are. What the heck, man? What did I ever do to you? And again, like I said before, like this is supposed to be just like a fun little something to do on the side during downtime when I'm not working on my main projects and stuff. I don't really have just oodles and gobs of time to fight this. I just don't. What is this mess? Okay, that's good. That's good. That's decent. It'll do. It'll do. It'll do. Okay. Okay. It's still really janky up here. I don't know what. I mean, look at this lump. I don't even know why it's gotta be like this. Why you gotta be this way? I don't understand you. Okay. You probably couldn't understand that. I kind of whispered that, and I don't know if the microphone picked it up. But I was just asking it why it's got to be this way. It's being terrible and awful and horrible and no good and very bad. Okay, that's not so bad. Maybe? No. Could be. No. Okay, come on. Okay. That works. Kinda. Yeah. Okay, it's good enough. It's good enough. Good enough for me. Okay, we're gonna flip this back around. Rotate it. There we go. Okay, you know what? That's not so bad. It was... Oh, that was a pain to get this far, but we're here now, and it's not so bad. We have arrived at something. Oh, I still want to put his tail in. Oh, boy. Tell you what, some days it just does not pay to pick up your pencil. Okay. But hey, you know, maybe this can be encouraging to you. That yes, I have bad days too. We all have bad days. Professional artists have bad days. This is a bad day. Come on. That wasn't too bad, except there at the end where it just kind of straightened out. But you're on the right track at least. Something. Sometimes you just gotta take what you can get. You just gotta say thank you for what little you're allowing me. And then you just kind of go on. There we go. Come on, can I finish this curve? Thank you. Alright. A tail! Yay! Now, what about his arm? I hear you whine into the computer box. Well, I say in mild disdain, what's gonna happen here is take all of that. I'm gonna actually make another layer here. I'm gonna make another folder, and I'm gonna call the folder ink because my inks now take up 5 different layers because life is just that way today. And I'm gonna put them there in one folder. So I'm gonna do that, and I can also alter their opacity all at once. Hey, look at that. That's nice, isn't it? Okay. Turn it down about that far. Okay. Now it's time to figure out how I want to do this badge situation here. Go here. So I think it looks maybe better if I put a line there. So, you know, give me a color that's kind of different here that I can just kind of use as a editing color. Right there. This way. I feel like that's better. Definitely than the angle I have. Definitely feel it looks more like it's being shown to the viewer. Maybe I should put that. Oh, I feel like maybe I should put my hand over there. Hang on. Do like that and then have. Yeah, I feel like, okay, I'm onto something now. That's a more natural position for him to hold this badge. Yeah, give me an eraser here. Get rid of this because I don't need that part anymore. Okay, yeah, that's definitely better. But I still need to adjust a couple of things here. Namely, I need to this way. Oh no, that's good. I can actually move it down lower. I'm just going to cover up this. Higher I think is better because it creates a better profile. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my sketch layer. Oh, hang on. Take me back to black. Because I just realized something else that I need to do that I didn't do. I need to do his eyes. No. More annoyance. This isn't gonna go good, I don't think. It's actually not so bad. Hey, that wasn't so bad. Look at that. It didn't fight me. I'm gonna pay for that later, I'm sure. But for now, anyway, I'm not gonna look that gift horse in the mouth. I'm gonna take the whole shebang. I'm gonna move it over here a little bit. Oh. Ouch. Turn. Cancel. Cancel. Turn that off. There we go. That's better. Alright, now back to these. Wait, why can't I? Oh. Wrong tool. Durr. Turn it a little bit this way. It'll catch up to me. There we go. That's better. See, it gives me a little more space between his head and the actual wallet type thing. Okay. Okay. Okay, look. That's... Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, look. Alright, the wallet sketch here. Something like that. Let's take this, and we'll squeeze it into it a little bit here. No, let's not do that. Let's go. Free transform. It's free! So I can move this part in. Right, no. Way. It's not perfect, but yeah, it'll do. You know, and that's just a guideline. It's a sketch. It's not supposed to be the main thing. So it's fine. It's fine. It'll do. Enough. Alright, take this down, way, way, way down in opacity. And then we're going to put another layer on top of it. Just to try and... badge. Just to try and it differentiates between some things. I'm going to flip it upside down. Because Bonkers badge is in here. You know, he's doing that thing where the cops flash their badges, but obviously because he's bonkers, his badge is upside down. Because, of course it is. I also have another little secret. What was that? What kind of line even was that? Ho hum. Gosh, that's terrible. Okay. Fine. I'm gonna try to figure this out. That wasn't too bad. Wasn't great though either, but you know what? Come on. Alright, fine, I'll flip it. If you're gonna be something that you only want to work one way. Ugh, that's terrible though. Come on. I'm not asking you to do something that hard. Do this. Just flip it back over. There we go. That I feel okay about that curve. This one's the one. Come on. Ooh. I really like that. There we go. That's it. That is it. I'm gonna put a little more detail on that in a bit, but for now, that's good enough. This is not very good radio at all. I'm sitting here perfectly silent. I just looked over at the recording thing, and there's just this flat line. You know, usually it has little wavy things when you're talking. It's like just flat. Like, gee, I must have been focusing. Also, bad commentary. Not good at all. Terrible commentary. It's generally very bad commentary if there is no commentary. By definition. No commentary is bad commentary. Okay, take this, go here like that. What? How did I get? Oh. I hit the wrong thing. Surprise, surprise. Send him. Go for Bubba. Okay. Something like that. That's good. Like that. And then put another layer on top of that. Flip it over. And now I'm going to try to do his fingers. That's actually a really good finger. I don't know why I didn't have problems with that, but I'll take it. I'm not looking this gift horse in the mouth. We've already discussed gift horses and mouth looking in the Tailspin episode, so we're gonna just keep going. We're gonna say thank you, and we're gonna move on. There we go. That's it. flip it this way. There we go. I can get it better. Get it better. No. There we go. That looks okay to me. Again, we have achieved good enough. And today, good enough is indeed good enough. And then, for the pièce de résistance, and this is an additional little funny bit here that I decided to put in. I am going to have pull this up. Go to downloads. No, I want to go to pictures. I want to go to sketches because this is where I'm working right now. I want to go to where is it? Some of these things are actually. So the extra added bonus is that I drew this picture of Lucky Piquel previously. Select all, copy, do not save, and this is going to be the color layer right above it. Piquel and paste. Oh, just made Piquel copy. Okay, well, I don't need you then, huh? Yeah, go away. Just take copy out because it's not a copy in this file. And then I'm going to move it here. Edit, transform, rotate, and we're going to rotate it 180 degrees. So now it's right side. It's right side up to us at the moment, anyway. Gonna move it over here. That there. Just a little bit like this. Riveting. I've gotten quiet again. Shame on me. Like that. And now we've got a picture of Lucky there. See, because Bonkers, in addition to flashing his badge upside down, is not even flashing his badge. He's flashing Lucky's badge because he got a hold of the wrong badge. Which I find humorous anyway. Like that. Okay, boom. And so, 2 for the price of 1, you actually get a picture of a confused Lucky Piquel. Give me my black again. Shrink it down a little bit here. So I get a little bit more on those lines. Because it's a little bit a little bit narrow. Try to work on it just a tad bit. Kind of deal with some of the pixelation that's going on here. He's got that look on your face that you get when you look at when they take your. He's got that look on his face that you get when you look when they take your picture for your ID or for your driver's license. Like, and now look at the camera. What? Click. Oh, what? Huh? What? I didn't. Because it's funny, and it always happens. It's funny, and it's true. It always happens. Alright, something like that. And we our business there. Here we go. And then I'll probably put in words about, lucky pill, blah, 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 yada, 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 whatever. Alrighty. Now we're going to go back to the ink layer. Pull that back up. And we are going to... Okay, come on. Close the wall. Oh, no. No. This is not it. This is not it. This is it right here. Oh, I gotta make it bigger. Alright, something like that. And back on ink layer with showing the right layer. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna erase part of his face right in there so that I can finish out his arm like so. There we go. And let's go ahead and take the entire ink folder and make it darker again. There we go. I just realized that the line work on my badge is a little bit too thick. Oh well. It makes it look like it's closer. It's fine. Whatever. I've had so much pain and so much annoyance through the course of this thing that I don't care. I do not care. As long as it works, I'm happy. Whatever. My threshold of caring has been exceeded. I'm going to I am now going to this is amusing. I'm not going to color it and stuff. I have reached a point where I have nothing really to talk about, and I'm just a little bit annoyed. So we're gonna come back again with the colors here in, well, for you it's just gonna be about 2 or 3 seconds, but for me I'm gonna give it a rest and come back to it. And I think we're going on about 120 minutes. Try that again. We're going about an hour and 20 minutes right now. So I'm gonna speed up the color section and just talk over it. So I'll do that here in a second. And now we're back. Well, it wasn't that quick for you, anyway. As you can see, I'm just zooming along, going super fast here. I had to make the wallet invisible so that it wouldn't mess up my fill. And here I'm just trying to find the right color for for the tie, and now I'm trying to fill in that area I wouldn't fill in. Anyway, I figure, do this part a little bit faster, because, we don't got it all day, right? So, we may as well, do this quickly. The coloring part specifically does not really need the long, drawn out, whatever that you get with the drawing. The drawing probably doesn't need that either, but you know what? It gives me something to do while I'm drawing, so you just get to suffer it. Right now I'm just trying to dial in the colors. You'll notice that unlike when I did the Rebecca drawing, I don't have any kind of reference here. So this is all just me and my memory having a little powwow here. I'm trying to approximate it. To be fair though, I have drawn Bonkers before and colored him and all of that, so I didn't have to worry quite so much about it. I didn't have to be as methodical about it as I did with Rebecca, because I had never drawn her before. The key here is you got to get those nice bright colors, especially on the police uniform. That was one of the things that show did really well, is how it used color, because being kind of modeled after Roger Rabbit, they had the difficult problem of marrying, your animated cartoon characters and like the real world, the quote unquote real world, together. And while certainly in the Roger Rabbit movie, like I had something in my mouth. Don't you just hate it when you get a hair, like, stuck in the back of your throat? Ugh. Anyway, enough about that. But with the Roger Rabbit thing, they could, they had their own challenges trying to make the animated characters look like they're really there in the real world. But the Bonkers show kind of had the exact opposite problem. I've stopped for some reason. I don't remember why I stopped. I thought I cut that out. I guess I didn't, because here we are sitting there looking at it. Come on, do something. Do something past me. You got work to do. Forget it. I'll start again here in a second. Anyhow, but the Bonkers show, it had like the reverse problem of, okay, how do we depict the quote-unquote real world in an animated form and yet still make it look distinct and different from all of these cartoon characters? And their answer to that was in the color palette. The Bonkers show had some of the best use of color. You see, I do have a reference for Lucky, but anyway, but that's because I've never drawn him before, and I just happened to have it, and I wound up not using the color that I picked anyway, and that screenshot's too dark. But that brings up a good point. What I was getting at there was that they gave all of the Toon characters like really super bright, vivid colors, and then they gave all of the human characters, all of the real world characters and real world locations and items and things, a lot more of a muted brown, gray kind of color palette, which kind of helped to emphasize the contrast between the bright, vivid cartoon characters and the duller, real-world characters. And it worked, and I thought it was pretty brilliant. And I thought about it while I was sitting here doing this coloring, because of how I was looking at the Lucky picture and the picture that I drew of Lucky, and then the wallet and all of this other stuff, versus Bonkers himself. And you'll notice I even made the, it's not quite as dark as it is in the screenshot, but I even made the badge in his wallet darker than the badges on Bonkers' uniform. Because again, like, that's the real badge, and the badges on Bonkers' uniform are the cartoon badges, right? So, I thought it was very interesting the way they did that, and very effective. So they approached the same problem from the opposite direction, and I don't think the show gets enough. I don't think this show gets enough credit anyway. Period. But I definitely don't think it gets enough credit for what it did in creating an animated real world versus an animated toon world. Because in that regard, Roger Rabbit actually had it easier, because at least Roger Rabbit, for the animated toon characters, you actually had them animated, and then for the real life characters, you actually had them filmed live action. But this one, like, they all had to be animated, so they had to differentiate somehow. And it's such a subtle thing that you don't really think about it, or notice it, or even really appreciate it when you're watching it, but, it's the case. And like Bonkers' uniform here, he's got this bright blue, like, almost, not quite realistic, police uniform. It's all bright, vivid blue, and even most of the cop characters on that show, I guess, didn't actually wear the blue uniforms, but the ones that did, like, they weren't as bright blue as Bonkers was. Bonkers' uniform, I think, actually, if memory serves, was an old costume from one of his cartoons where he played a cop. So it's not even a real uniform. It's a fake uniform anyway. And then it's a toon uniform on top of that, which explains the big poofy hat and everything. Those are really cool hats, though. Like, there are some jobs that have a really cool hat, and I think cop is one of those jobs. And they don't wear the hats anymore, and that's kind of disappointing. If I was a cop, I'd wear the hat, because it's a cool hat. So if you're law enforcement out there, wear the hat. It's a cool hat. You get to wear the hat. You should wear the hat. That's what I say. But yeah, like, all the bright blues and vivid colors and everything in Bonkers' uniform. Of course, Lucky, he's plain clothes, so that emphasizes the contrast even more, because he just wears like brown and tan clothing, and Bonkers wears the stereotypical police uniform complete with the hats that nobody wears anymore. Because like even in the show, nobody wore the hat. Like the closest person, like his other partner, Miranda Wright, wore a more traditional cop or police uniform. But even she didn't wear the hat, I don't think. She may have worn it on occasion, like special occasion, because that's what police actually do. In reality, is they'll wear the hat for special occasions and things. It's like a formal thing. So if somebody's getting a medal or for service or whatever, things like that, or if they're having some sort of public relations type event or something like that, they might wear the hat, but they don't wear the hats normally, which is a shame, because again, like I said, those are cool hats. It's a very unique hat. You see a cop hat, you see a police hat, and immediately that's a police hat. And it actually is similar to some hats, like a pilot, like a airline pilot's hat, or a boat captain's hat, like a modern day boat captain, not like, back in the day, or they used to wear the tricorn or hats, or the bicorn. Is that what the like Napoleon style ones are? I don't know. BRB, I took a break at this moment, but guess what? I'm still here. I think that was a cue for myself to cut this part out. And as you can tell by looking at it, I didn't cut it out. I left it in. The good news is, since this is like 4 times speed, it won't be a very long wait. But, yeah. We're going to twiddle our thumbs for a bit. But that's past me. Present me's still here. Actually, but as you're listening to this, this is past me too. Because I will have already recorded this and rendered it and uploaded it. So, there's past me and even more past me. And present me is probably doing something else entirely right now. Maybe he's working on the 4th one of these. Maybe he's working on commissions. Maybe he's trying to fry eggs on the patio because we've been having 100-degree weather because it's summer in Texas. I don't know. Because that's the future, and my crystal ball is broken. But anyway... but back to the police thing, he still stands out compared to that. And, the same is true for all of the other colors and things and the other Toon characters in the show and everything. They just did a really good job with the color palette to differentiate things, and it made it very visually clear. And it's not like the human characters are drawn any more realistically. I mean, they're still very cartoony. I mean, look at Lucky there. Or, well, stand on your head and look at Lucky there, because he's upside down. But, you get the point. Rewind and look at Lucky back when he was right side up, if you have to. It's still very cartoony, though it's slightly more grounded in reality than, say, Bonkers and his friends, where, like I mentioned before, there's very little about Bonkers that's anything like an actual Bobcat, where at least, Lucky does look like a caricature of an actual human. But anyway, what bugs me? This little side tangent here. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, and I've stomped again for some reason. Don't know why. I've slept since then. But I'm noticing little tiny imperfections that I didn't notice at the time that are bugging me now. The good news is that I've got it zoomed way in to 150%? Yeah. I've got it zoomed way in. When you zoom out, you don't notice the little, corners where the little orange didn't get in all the way next to the corner of his eye and things like that. You don't notice that when you actually zoom back out. Again. Ugh, yawn. Sorry. Again, that's the trick, is that, you gotta remember, seen at normal size, a lot of little tiny things like that are gonna not be noticeable or visible, so you can just kind of blow them off. That's actually why you should draw at a high... Well, let me specify this. If you're drawing digitally, this doesn't apply to traditionally, on an actual piece of paper, for reasons that are going to be obvious when I finish my statement and quit stalling. When you draw digitally, you want to have your canvas, your drawing space, your file, about twice the resolution that you want in the final product, because you can shrink it down, and a lot of those little imperfections and stuff just kind of disappear once you shrink it down. So that's your little tip for the day. Well, a tip for the day. I don't know if I gave you a tip for the day earlier. Again, I didn't go back and listen back through my commentary on the previous thing, so if this is disjointed or unrelated, I'm sorry. I don't think it would be unrelated, though, because I'm talking about Bonkers over here. I'm talking about the artwork. I'm talking about the character. What more do you want from me, people? Anyhow, another thing they did to help differentiate from the cartoon, the toon characters from the real world characters is the amount of like stretch and squash that they put into the animation. So like the toon characters have a lot more elasticity to their movements, to their actions and stuff than the human characters. Though the human characters, of course, do still have a certain amount of elasticity to them, because if they didn't have any, then they would look stiff in cardboard and not very lifelike at all. That's another weird thing when it comes to animation, is it's always better to over-animate than under-animate. Like, you think that, like, if you actually animated something the way they actually move in reality, it would seem stiff. You have to actually over-animate for it to look realistic, which is weird, but it's true. It's just something about how you perceive it. Somehow, like, you know, more animation, over-animation kind of sells it more, I guess. It's interesting. Hair tricks. It's not that fancy, but it's nice. It's something. I like the way he's peeking over the edge of his sunglasses like that. He says, I'm coloring the belt. Time to say that was about, 30 seconds ago. Got a nice little sheen on the belt. The hat's a little small. I went back and looked at some screenshots, and his hat was actually even bigger and poofier than that. So I went in afterwards and I resized it a bit, but you're not going to see that here because that was after the fact. Sorry, folks. But it's alright. It's alright. Nothing's worrying me. Why you got to give me a fight? Can't you just let me be? Caddyshack. The movie where Bill Murray and the Gopher stole the show. It's funny. It was funny, and it had a lot of really great comedic actors in it. It had, it had Chevy Chase in it. It had Rodney Dangerfield. No respect. When I was a kid, we were so poor that we couldn't even afford the letter L. That's right. Instead of having lunch, we had unch. Instead of turning off the light, we turned off the light. Instead of going and jumping in the pool, well, you get the idea. So, like, there were a lot of great characters in there, and I still remember little to nothing about that movie other than Bill Murray and that gopher. Because that just stole the show. Like, that made the movie. I know they made a sequel, but I don't think it did as well, because I don't think it had them in it. Either that or it did have them in it and it focused on them too much. I don't know. I've not seen it, so I can't pass judgment. But according to what I've heard, it wasn't so great. And also, they never run it, and that's the thing. Because a lot of my movie viewing is done via the television, which I guess is kind of antiquated now with things like your Netflix and your the Hulu hoops and things like that. But oh, you kids these days with your flicky nets and your Hulu hoops and your positive Disney things. Anyway, but I don't have any of those. I need to figure out how those work, but I haven't been bothered to do it. So, I'm pretty much just stuck with either stuff that runs on the TV or things that I buy. Like, I'll buy DVDs and stuff like that, which I actually far prefer, because the problem with something like Netflix or Hulu or something like this, it's a subscription service, and they can take it away at the drop of a hat. I've noticed, since we're sitting here on YouTube, it's fair to comment on this. I've noticed that YouTube has the option to buy movies and stuff. They tried to sell me, like, the Sonic movie when it came out. It said, like, to rent or own. It's like, to rent I can kind of understand. I could rent it and I could watch it on my computer. But to own, I mean, obviously I could hop on YouTube at any time and watch it, but that's, as long as I have access to YouTube. What happens if YouTube's down? What happens if YouTube folds? Which, that's a crazy thought because it's so huge, but, there's no guarantee that things like this will last forever. Something better may come along and put YouTube out of business. I mean, I remember when MySpace was the big deal, and then Facebook came along and killed MySpace. So, and I to this day, can't even really figure out why. I don't know what exactly it was about Facebook that was better than MySpace. It was different, sure, but it was still basically the same thing. So, I guess it was the feed? I don't think MySpace had a feed. I don't even remember. That was so far back. But I do remember a lot of people were hopping to Facebook, and I'm like, why? What's the point? It's redundant. But eventually I had to make that jump, because that's where everyone else went. And if I wanted to keep in contact with people, I had to go there too. And now I kind of have the same thoughts regarding Twitter versus Facebook. So I don't understand, but trends change, I guess, and sometimes it's arbitrary. My point being, however, that, there's no guarantee that something better than YouTube might not come out. And YouTube might go the way of the dodo, in which case, well, I spent that money to get that movie, and now I don't have access to it anymore. And it's the same problem with Netflix, any kind of streaming service where you have to keep paying a fee for it. What's available is subject to their decision. They take things off and put it on and all of that. So, I mean, it's nice and it has its place, but if you really want something, the best thing to do is to buy an actual physical copy, because, like, no one can take that away from you. No one can take away that service, as long as you can find something that will play it and you don't, damage or destroy it, you can play it and watch it. So, that's my advocate for physical media. Advocacy, yes. I would be the advocate because I'm advocating. And the means by which I'm advocating is advocacy. There's your grammar lesson for the day, kids. But anyway, that's why I prefer physical things. But it still could be worth it to get streaming services. I know the new Animaniac stuff is coming out. They've released the new Looney Tunes stuff on HBO Max, their streaming service. That's another problem. Like, there's so many streaming services. Like, which one do I get? And how much before it starts getting too expensive? I mean, it's better than cable in some degree because I can pick and choose what I do. But I don't know. It seems confusing to me. Anyway, not the point. The point is that those new Looney Tunes cartoons are out on HBO Max, which I have very little desire to get HBO, because 90% of the stuff on HBO is stuff that I'm not interested in. I always call it the hobo channel, because the HBO, it's one letter away from hobo, and so I just glance at that and I read hobo, so HBO is the hobo channel to me. That may not be very sensitive, but I think it's funny. That's what I call it. Anyhow, not the point. I have thoughts on the new Looney Tunes stuff, but I'm not going to share that here because first off, we're drawing a Disney character. I mean, it's tangentially related because it's because it's cartoons. It's Toon related, but all the same, I'm gonna save that one for later later on whenever I draw Looney Tunes characters, because I'm sure that's gonna happen again at some point. So I think I actually did I record that did I record myself drawing that Wile E. Coyote picture that I posted a while back? I don't remember. I have to go back through my recorded files. Anyway, I record a bunch of stuff and then it just sits because I forget that I have it. I need to get better at that. I need to get more on the ball. I need to like produce things and be, productive and professional and stuff. And sometimes that's hard. Anyhow, but yes, the streaming services, movies in the stream, that is what they are. Nothing in between. So how can we go wrong? And now it's turned into a Kenny Rogers tribute. Oh, poor Kenny Rogers. He passed recently. That was sad. I don't know. Was he in his 80s or 70s? I don't remember. But it's like, he's one of those people who, like, he went white early, but then he never aged past that. I've noticed that, like, if you go white early, like, that's kind of a bad thing. But at the same time, like, that's a good indication that you're not... that other than that, you're gonna age just fine. So, I don't know. Now I'm just shooting my mouth off. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway. But when the Animaniacs comes out on Hulu, like, that is, I'm inclined to get that whenever those start dropping, which I guess into this year or next year that's supposed to start happening. I don't know. Well, anyway. Well, it looks like we're done here. So, I'm gonna shut my pie hole and quit rambling. So there you have it. Bonkers D Bobcat. The D stands for draw, which is what we just did. And there we have it. I was gonna tease or reveal what's up next, but I'm not actually controlling this at the moment, so I will just tell you that the next cartoon character on my list is another somewhat obscure one. It's Furball from Tiny Toon Adventures. I thought that was a very odd choice. Not Tiny Toon Adventures specifically. That's not odd. And I got a request for Buster. Right. I got a request for Buster Bunny and Plucky Duck. But I got 2 for Furball. I don't know why. Like, Furball was not even a major character in that, but you know what? Hey, sounds fun. So, next time, Furball from Tiny Toon Adventures. So, until then, have a good day, stay safe, and, words and sign off and stuff. Goodbye.